Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alana. I live at 903 Bluebird Drive in Manchac, which is also in Chaparral Park, and it's less than 2 miles from the proposed Hayes Commons development site. I serve as the secretary for the nonprofit group Hayes Residents for Land and Water Protection, and I spoke to you all last July and then again in October regarding Hayes Commons, so I thought it was time for my quarterly update. I know that my neighbor, friend, and fellow advocate for protecting the environment has sent you background on Hayes Commons and discussed how their ever-changing plan consistently remains far too dense for the land they want to develop. So I'd like to highlight a few points. First, it's important to point out that the Milestone developers bought this land from a previous developer who was not able to develop the land. That was almost 5 years ago. While Milestone has gotten them mud approved with TCEQ, they have no water to process and nowhere to put it. The wastewater permit that they have applied for is being contested, and they have not even approached EACD to obtain permits for pulling water from the aquifers, which I guarantee will also receive pushback from our community and from several environmental groups if EACD even entertains their request for an extremely large amount of water. They've attempted to get water and wastewater services from the city of Hayes before they de-annex themselves. They've also tried to get a service extension request from the city of Austin, but they've met with pushback, they've resubmitted their application, and they're currently stalled out. Now they are approaching the city of Buda. They are clutching at a dwindling number of straws. What they refuse to face is the fact that Central Texas is in a water crisis. Our drinking water supply is precious, and we need to do everything in our power to protect its quantity and quality, especially as extenuating drought conditions persist. Truthfully, Milestone does not care. They come in, they build, they profit, and then they bail. What they care about is the largest possible return for their investors. Once they've built, they're gone. They don't have to live with the repercussions of their actions, but those of us who are already here and the new residents that they wish to draw in will suffer the consequences. Building with the density they seek will introduce pollutants almost directly into the groundwater because it's recharge zone, which degrades our water quality. Building at their desired density will be putting an exorbitant amount of impervious cover over the recharge zone and will drastically reduce the quantity of water that can enter the aquifer. The point is, this land is environmentally sensitive and we need to respect that. As humans, we change the surface of the land on which we live, but we have the knowledge, technology, and the skills to change the land in ways that can suit our needs and still allow nature's cycles to function to keep our ecosystems healthy. Regardless of how much we as humans can do on our own, when it comes down to it, all of our resources come from the environment. If we've crippled the functionality of the natural environment with our developments, ultimately, we will not be able to survive here. In the end, we cannot breathe, drink, or eat money, so the choices about land use and development should not be made based on the bottom line of a for-profit company. And specifically regarding Hayes Commons, please, I encourage you all to invest in the health and the well-being of the people who are already part of our community instead of the profit margin of outside investors. Thank you.